Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, what time is it? It's Friday night. It is two fun-filled full hours of the Paranormal Portal. It's just on deck here for you. I'm absolutely pumped to be here, and thank you so much for being here with me. As always, happy Friday. Hope the journey's been fair and fun, and you're happy to be here with me. We've got a lot to go through tonight, but a special announcement first. Because, as it turns out, folks, I'm not here alone. I am joined by my good friend and co-host on a special Friday visit here on the portal, Mr. Don Longbeard.
Who?
You.
What?
Yeah.
I'm here? Gosh.
You are here. Friday night, folks, we pulled in the Longbeard.
Pulled in by the Longbeard.
Unfortunately, Don couldn't make it tomorrow night, so he's substituting.
Yep.
He swapped his nights, and we're happy to have him right here with us tonight. So
And here I is.
And here he is. So absolutely thrilled you're here, and hope everything's been going good for you.
Yeah, all's good. Yeah, it's been a long day, but we'll make it through. We always do.
Chugga choo choo.
Chugga chugga.
That's how we go, but we got a lot on deck on the show tonight. A lot of things to get through, and I'm really glad Don's here because I was feeling real tired, and I was like, man, it's going to be tough to pull the boat alone. And then all of a sudden, hello.
And then the tugboat showed up.
It was like, hello. And I'm like, what do you mean, hello? Don was here, and he said, oh, I texted you. And I was like, oh, cool. Worked out perfectly because of all the nights. This is one I could use the lift. So
Nice.
And it energizes me, of course, too. So, but yeah, we're going to cook through 2 full hours of the Paranormal Portal tonight, folks. So we've got a lot to get through and to get going on always. But I don't know. What do you think, Don? Where do we start?
Usually at the beginning.
Let's start at the beginning with
Okay.
the news.
The news.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. I'm your host and news anchor, Brent Thomas, joined by my co-news anchor. I don't know, co-anchor, is that it? Don Longbeard, here we're here.
Co-anchor dank.
Yeah. You're kind of a brick. No,
Hey.
just kidding. All right, so we got some news articles to get through here, and hopefully you find them absolutely entertaining and informative and expanding your vision of the universe at least a little. But the first one tonight is having to do with apparently some more some more CERN kind of news, and I don't know. This is all new to me. I just saw it pop up, and I went, "Oh, that's weird."
You know what I know? I know it's all concerning.
It's all concerning you.
Yes.
Weren't you concerned there would be like black holes and all kinds of Mandela effects? Oh wait, that might have happened.
Oh, gee, gosh.
Never mind. I don't know enough to pretend to have an opinion about all that, but I do know that, a lot of people were really alarmed about the whole CERN experiments and doing all the collisions and possibly rupturing the space-time continuum. And, some people believe they actually did.
Settle down, Spock.
I'm just saying. That's what I've heard. I don't know anything about the physics or science involved and whether or not there's any kind of actual risk of such things happening. But right. I know a lot of people really believe this stuff, man. They were really shook. And so we're going to go to an article from unexplained-mysteries.com. And this is, particle is disobeying known laws of physics.
Oh.
Absolutely disobeying.
Gosh.
Damn
put that
particles.
thing in a corner.
Damn particles.
Gosh.
All right. So this says, recent experiments involving muons, Don. Muons, M-U-O-N-S.
Wow.
There's the word right there, muons.
Sweet.
Have blown open a hole in our current understanding of the universe.
So is CERN.
Yeah, that was rather poetic, wasn't it? The findings, which appear to agree with the results of similar experiments conducted at the Brookhaven National Laboratory in 2001, involved firing muons, a type of elemental particle, through an intense magnetic field at the Fermi National Accelerator Laboratory in Batavia, Illinois. Physicist Chris Polly, along with an international team of more than 200 scientists from 7 countries, found that the particles did not behave as predicted by the known laws of physics.
Gosh, how dare they?
I know, it's like, you want you to do what you want.
We got it all figured out here. Hold on.
What's just the rebel particle? Muon's the rebel particle. Yeah. All right. This implies that there is a major gap in our current understanding of the universe and suggests that there are forms of matter and energy vital to the nature and evolution of the cosmos that are not yet known to science. Huh? This is my surprise face. It's like, no kidding. There's so much we don't know. That ego is just what's so toxic. We know the universe works. No, you don't. According to a recent article in the New York Times, this is strong evidence that the muon is sensitive to something that is not in our best theory, said physicist Renee Fatimi of the University of Kentucky. There is a mere 1 in 40,000 chance that the results are a fluke, the scientists report.
How many?
1 in 40,000.
Oh, that's pretty good, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have a surgery based on that, but other than that, yeah, I suppose if it's lottery odds, that's better than usual. After 20 years of people wondering about this mystery from Brookhaven, the headline of any news here is that we confirm that Brookhaven experimental results, said Dr. Polly. Want a cracker? Sorry, I couldn't resist. We can say with fairly high confidence, there must be something contributing to this white space. What monsters might be lurking there? Ooh, now we're talking.
Now it's getting creepy.
Now we're getting into it, brother. Now we're getting into it. Actually, this solving this conundrum, however, is another matter entirely. I'm very excited. I feel like this tiny wobble may shake the foundations of what we thought we knew, said Marcella Carina, head of theoretical physics at Fermilab. Wow. Well, that's kind of cool. I like when they got to put down the pretense and they got to get humbled.
Right.
You know, that to me is important. And I think, honest to God, I love when scientists get humbled because they've got to reopen the books. They got to quit that label, measure, imperative, and they got to open their minds. This doesn't follow the rules. Oops. We don't know all the rules. Okay, well, let's open the books and figure out the rules. That's good. It's when they rest on the laurels, like, well, there's gravity, and gravity makes things fall, and the end. It's like, no, it's not the end. There's so much more going on here. And again, I think that the paranormal is a great example of some of these weird physics we don't understand. And I think that's just it, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I love the paranormals, because I think it's a demonstration of the nature of reality.
Right.
These are the breadcrumbs. These are the clues. And this is exactly the kind of stuff. Now, this wasn't discovered in a paranormal context, but by discovering the nature of the muon and the particle, what's going on with it, maybe it will help us understand some of the paranormal stuff we experience. Really. I think there is a science to it all, underneath it all. Like it's not unnatural is my point.
Right.
It's very natural. It's just we don't see it enough to have an opinion. So that's the first one tonight. Let's go on to Let's continue on our news journey into the paranormal and weird and just the not normal. Here's one that really kind of validates some of the sightings in the UK. And they've been coming out of the UK forever. And people swear up and down they're seeing things in the UK that look like big cats.
Oh, no.
Well, from unexplained-mysteries.com comes mystery big cat shows up on live TV in the UK.
No way. Live TV?
Live TV, apparently.
Wow.
This is posted Thursday, April 8th of 2021. So brand new. A creature resembling a panther or puma made an unexpected appearance during a live TV segment.
I'm sorry, let me interject real quick. On behalf of Viva V, it's a bear, duh.
Okay.
Sorry.
It could be Viva V. A creature resembling a panther or puma made an unexpected appearance during a live TV segment. Viewers of Good Morning Britain, a popular morning television show in the UK, were left scratching their heads earlier today when they spotted something unusual skulking in the background of a live segment which was being filmed at the Rickmansworth Aquadome in Hertfordshire, England. During one shot, which saw the camera zoom in on a swan, it was possible to see a large black creature emerging from behind a tree in the background before heading off to the right. Presenter Andy Peters didn't notice himself at the time, but when viewers called in to the show to comment on the animal, he mentioned at a later segment which was also filmed at the lake, "I have some breaking news of my own," he said. Earlier today, we were in this very spot on Berry Lake in Hertfordshire. Viewers said that whilst I was doing the competition, they spotted a black-shaped creature on the banks that then walked off. We've had a look at it for you guys and have looked around, and we can't see anything, but obviously you all spotted something on the shores. Could it have been someone walking a dog? The word wolf has been used. I can't confirm or deny. By far the most common suggestion from viewers is that the creature was a large black cat, possibly a panther or puma, something that obviously shouldn't have been there. Others, meanwhile, insisted that it was simply a domestic dog. You can check out the clip for yourselves below. Well, I'm going to copy this link and send it over to our good friends in the TFR chat.
You pasted it.
I did?
You didn't copy it. You pasted it.
Good God. Oh, man. There we go. Me and my stupid clicks, huh? Copy.
There you go.
Now I copied it.
I'll keep you straight.
Bam. Here you go, Bam. I'm showing up for you, brother. Bam's over there. All one's over there. Psycho Dave's over there.
Ooh.
Psycho Dave.
I got to say, commenting on that picture there. Oh, you're going to play it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a news clip, right? And we are discussing it. So let's have a look at it.
In a minute, we can see something. Episode 2.
Okay, so it's over here.
Oh.
That's not very big, though. I don't know. Well, it's pretty good size, though, isn't it?
Well, compared to those ducks.
Well, those are swans.
Whatever.
So swans are even bigger. Yeah, a lot bigger. So let's... Yeah, I guess it could be.
That's pretty big.
That is big.
That's a good-sized cat. That's a cat.
You think so?
Yeah, because a dog doesn't walk like that.
Yeah, it's kind of low, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huh. Could very well be, folks. Look at that. We made the recommended. Woo! Paranormal Portal. Yay!
Who is that?
It's the best show ever.
The Paranoid Portal.
That's not the name.
Oh.
Don't you disparage our home, Don. But there you go. There's the video for those of you on YouTube. You can see it. And those of you in TFR can check it out from the link in the chat there. I don't know. It's possible. It's not a lot to go by, but it's certainly peculiar.
Titan says that cat came from CERN.
It's a muon cat.
It's a muon cat.
It's a muon cat. It's not behaving normally. There you go. There it is. I don't know. That stuff's kind of cool. I like that stuff, but I don't pretend to know. Could be. So here's a little article that has to do with I got a kind of a chain of articles here that kind of go hand in hand. Let me look at this quick. Okay, we're doing good. Okay. This is the first article in 2 that I'm going to show you that I think are kind of interesting. The first one is, what radio messages have we been sending to aliens?
Send nudes.
I don't think that's one.
Noodles. That's what I said. Noodles.
Oh, yeah, I misheard that completely. What the hell?
Pardon me, I misspoken completely.
Wow. A little Freudian. Yeah. All right. So this is an article from unexplained-mysteries.com. It says, what radio messages have we sent to aliens? I just thought this was kind of neat because, we've all heard was it the Viking that had the gold record thing on it and stuff?
The Voyagers.
Or was it Voyagers?
The two
Okay.
Voyagers, yeah.
Okay, the Voyagers had that on there. And it was kind of a basic building block of who we are, where we are, and what we're all about. In a nutshell.
Come take over.
Yeah. Bring rent. Scientists have made several attempts to communicate with intelligent extraterrestrials over the decades. On the face of it, sending a radio message into space with the hope of establishing contact with an advanced extraterrestrial civilization would seem like a literal shot in the dark.
Oh, jeez.
Given the distances involved, a message is sent to a distant star system could take thousands of years or more to get there, and there's no guarantee that intelligent aliens would even be listening out for conventional radio signals, which are obviously way too slow for interstellar communication.
No way.
This hasn't stopped humanity from attempting to make contact all the same, however. One of the, if not the earliest attempts to communicate with the aliens happened in 1962 when Soviet scientists beamed a basic greeting, Mr. Lenin SSR, toward the planet of Venus. It wasn't until 1974 that the first proper message was sent towards the stars. The message itself contained an image set in binary of a human figure, a DNA double helix, a model of carbon atom, and a depiction of a telescope.
You skipped the paragraph.
Oh, I did? Oh, Frank Drake, Carl Sagan, and a group of other scientists and astronomers used Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico to send a message towards the star cluster 25,000 light years away. The message itself contained an image set in binary of a human figure, a DNA double helix, a model of a carbon atom, and a depiction of a telescope. The chances of anyone ever picking up the message are remote, to say the least, especially given that it will take 25,000 years to reach the target by which by that time will have moved. Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's not good. The Arecibo message tried to give a snapshot of who we are as human beings and the language of math and science, says psychologist Douglas Vakoch. Since then, there have been numerous attempts to send messages into space. However, to date, we have yet to receive a response, or at least one that we've been able to detect and decipher. All things considered, radio messages, given that they are limited to the speed of light, are probably not going to be the answer to communicating with other beings across the stars.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be tough because, what is it? The closest one's like 50 light years away.
Oh, yeah.
Or something like that, or 10 or 20.
So think of this. So think about this. So if it takes, when would we possibly hear back from somebody in that interstellar mail? Would it be like our great grandkids? Or would it be like, the Eloi after the Morlocks take over the underworld?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's crazy to think about how long that might be coming back.
Right.
So,
Poof.
we'll be idiocy by then.
I think, if they're out there, maybe they just tap into the mental energy of the universe and can just tell that we're out here. I don't know. I don't know. It's way out there kind of thinking, but
What is that? What is that weird thinking? It's like almost schizophrenic.
well, it's what goes on in my head, Don. Yeah, I got all kinds of messes going on in my head, but anyway, that's that one. Now, I thought as a good follow-up to this, we would visit the wise words of Michio Kaku and his dire warnings about communicating with aliens.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let's see what Michio has to say here. And this is from Sunday, 4th of April. And it says, Michio Kaku contacting ET is a terrible idea. Well, it's too late, Mitch. We've already been at it since apparently the 70s.
Yep.
So I'm sure they're probably already aware that we're here sending messages in bottles out into space. But the author and theoretical physicist, that was a lot of long syllables for me, has expressed doubts about the wisdom of contacting intelligent aliens. Dr. Kaku, who is well known for his views on future of technology, is currently promoting his latest book, The God Equation, which explores the quest to combine quantum theory with Einstein's general relativity to produce an all-encompassing theory of everything. He believes that while we already have the constituent parts of this theory, we have yet to see it in its final form. However, he does believe that we are on the verge of a new era. During a recent promotional interview with The Guardian, Kaku also touched upon the subject of extraterrestrial life, and in particular, the possibilities of making contact. Soon we'll have the Webb telescope up in orbit, and we'll have thousands of planets to look at, and that's why I think the chances are quite high that we may make contact with an alien civilization, he said. On the subject of actually contacting aliens, however, he remains less than enthusiastic. There are some colleagues of mine that believe we should reach out to them, he said, and I think that's a terrible idea. We all know what happened in Montezuma when he met Cortez in Mexico so many hundreds of years ago. Now, personally, I think that aliens out there would be friendly, but we can't gamble on it. Back in 2018, Kaku stated that he believes contact with aliens would become a reality before the end of the century, and that it would happen by listening to their radio communications. But talking to them will be difficult since they could be tens of light years away, he said. So in the meantime, we must decipher their language to understand their level of technology. Only time will tell whether or not he is correct. I guess if we're just talking from our planet to their planet,
Right.
yeah, those probably aren't the guys that are ready to talk to us, because they're probably in the same boat as we are.
Yeah.
And then we're probably not ready to talk to anybody.
And the ones that are talking to us are probably just floating right outside like Mars, you
yeah,
know?
they're hanging out on the dark side of the moon.
Dark side of the moon, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and the Black Knights relaying their messages or something.
Yep.
Yeah,
Why did that one come so fast? We just sent that out yesterday.
that's crazy.
Like, yeah. It's got a 7-minute lag.
Could be, but yeah, that's some crazy stuff. I don't know. I think that if they are advanced, then hopefully they're advanced enough that that comes with moral and societal advances, advances in a altruistic good.
Right.
Hopefully, I don't know. I suppose it's possible there could be like some Sith lords out there and Klingons and stuff like that may not be so happy to see other people, but you never know.
Romulans.
Romulans, Klingons, yeah, the whole works. Kardashians.
Romulans, decloaking.
Oh, did I say Kardashians?
Oh, gosh.
There was like Deep Space Nine had the Kardashian.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
That was kind of funny. Thank you very much. I'm here all night. All right, so because Kardashians are always trouble. Thank you. I could do this all night, folks.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, no.
Those damn Kardashians. Thank you. Okay. Eroding our moral fiber every day. Thank you. Okay. Enough of the Kardashians. I enjoyed my buttons. I have fun with my buttons now.
I bet you do.
You don't even know the kind of messes I make when nobody's here.
Oh, whoa.
I'm out here just hitting them. That's right.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, folks.
I got people that tell me I'm good at hitting buttons, too.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
pushing
I know. I
buttons.
know you could press them. I know you know how to press those, but it's very cool. And I think that's going to wrap it up for the news, which is about perfect timing.
There you go.
We're about out of time for the news, so let's get back to the regularly scheduled Paranormal Portal program. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Don,
Yes.
did you already know we had made a contact with aliens? They even got their own TV show, The Kardashians.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
I can go all night. I can go all night with this.
Explain Kanye.
That's a whole nother one. As far as aliens go, there's Kanye. I don't know where that man he fits on the whole periodic table
Apparently it's only on one of them.
of elements, but he's a unique one.
That is the truth.
But he's our peaceful envoy to the Kardashian throne.
Oh, boy.
Thank you. All right, I gotta stop. All right. Even Titans like Brent. All right, here we go. There's more of the Paranormal Portal fun. We are just a second. Oh, they are getting a divorce now. Stacy says.
I had no idea.
I guess there's problems with the interstellar relationship there, Don. I guess they're getting a divorce. The Kardashians want out. Thank you. All right. Even my mom is texting me.
Oh, my gosh. Why? Why?
She thinks it's overkill. But Mom,
Thank you, Mom. Thank you.
You have to watch Star Trek. There's actually a race of aliens called Kardashians. I think that's hilarious. I love that.
I think it starts with a C, too. not a
Whatever,
K.
Don.
Oh, my gosh.
Whatever. That's semantics. It's all semantics, folks.
Oh, goodness.
I'm feeling
Mom, save me.
Yeah. All right. No invoking the power of Mom. That's not necessary. Still my show. All right. So let's continue on, folks. Actually, I don't know. We've got about a minute left here. So
Are you gonna, am I stuck or is the thing stuck? Where are you stuck?
Oh, let's do this first. Hey, welcome back, everybody.
Hey, the Paranormal News is over.
It is over, but it's with us in our heart. So, I'm just having so much fun with my buttons. I just lost myself in this. I mean, I'm feeling good enough to make jokes, right?
Oh, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you showed up.
Me too. Thank you. I'm glad I showed up too, believe me. There was a couch and then there was my chair, and I'm like, which one do I want? I wanted both. Pillow, sleeping. But no, I'm doing good. Yeah, we've got a lot more to go. We're going to hit a bunch of things, including some skeptics, how they became believers. Oh. And we're going to talk about some other things, including a brand new article by our very own Brent Swanser. And it has to do with a teleporting, hold on, I got to find it now. Teleporting inventor. Oh. And sounds really cool. And so we got a lot of that going on, and several other articles and things to get about, including stories of EBENs, and that's extraterrestrial biological entities, meaning aliens. So we'll get to more of all that after a bit, so don't go away. First break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes to continue the ride through the paranormal portal.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Half hour number 2 is upon us here on the Paranormal Portal, and we hope you're enjoying the ride so far. Don is making a special Friday appearance and helping to fill the void of my life, which is always good, and helping to fill the show with lots of energy and fun. So I'm glad you could make it tonight, brother.
Oh, no problem. My pleasure.
It is, indeed.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, so we've got a lot of material to get through tonight. As always, if you're listening on TFR, iHeart, tune in to TalkStream Live. The Paranormal Portal goes 2 full hours. We're a half hour into it already, but after our show comes Paisley Wild. The spaces between on TFR, iHeart, tune in to TalkStream Live. And it's a great show. Lots of wonderful information. And she's a dear friend of ours. And Don actually produces that show as well.
Yeah,
so,
I try to.
And it's a lot of fun. So if you can help support what she's doing, that'd be great. And then after Paisley's show comes the Duke with World Bigfoot Radio. So there's lots coming up yet here on TFR. And you can check out Paisley's show on YouTube as well, if you like. And that you can do that by going to youtube.com/thespacesbetween.
That's correct.
And that's how you do it. So what are we going to get into now, Don?
I don't know. We usually get into trouble.
Yeah, that's that's always a given. Let's get into the EBENs.
The EBENs.
Apparent EBENs, is that how you pronounce
Yeah,
it?
you could do it either way.
Okay, I EBEN would probably be right because extraterrestrial biological entities is what it's short for. Now, what I learned with this talking about a yellow book. Have you ever heard of this yellow book?
No,
Dan?
actually, I haven't.
Well, apparently it's this creepy, weird book that has to do with these EBENs or EBENs. And it's weird. So let's kind of learn it together, I guess.
Sweetly.
All right. So this is coming from Ranker. It looks like ranker.com. Yellow Book, EBENs, Stories, Theories, Conspiracy. And let's see what it says. Creepy Theories about the Yellow Book and the EBENs by Aaron Edwards, November 13th, 2018. It says, are aliens real? Many people seem to think so. Statistically speaking, another intelligent race must exist among the stars, but who are they? And what if they've contacted us already? If you ask the internets, the answer is yes. They've contacted us, given us the key to unlocking the universe. So you know a little bit about aliens, and maybe you've heard about the Yellow Book and the EBENs, but you don't know how deep that wormhole goes. I don't at all. So this is a brand new journey for me. You probably run into snippets of the Yellow Book and EBENs conspiracies in cyberspace, but in case you haven't, this list will catch you up. According to these theories, the EBENs are aliens from Zeta Reticuli star system, and our government has been in contact with them. They gave us an alien encyclopedia named the Yellow Book, which has helped shape the human race ever since. So get out your FBI badge because it's time to find the truth. If these theories are to be believed, it's out there. Number 1, every time you read the Yellow Book, you have to start at the beginning. It says there's a problem with either the Yellow Book or our puny human minds because it's said that once you stop reading, you can't pick up where you left off. That means if you pick it up again, you have to start over. Maybe we're being small-minded here, but that seems like a pretty big oversight in the design. Stupid fascist alien book. Number 2, we've sent people away with the EBENs. Oh, that's nice of us. Did we like those people or no?
Can they take Congress?
Yeah, I've got a few names to add to that list. Theorists believe we've sent people off to live with the EBENs, which is only fair given how much they've helped us out. After a meeting was set, our government picked the best of the best from its ranks and erased their existence in all public records.
Erase their existence.
That's right.
All right.
They went full Jason Bourne.
There you go.
They've trained for years to learn the EBENs' language and culture. In 1965, the EBENs craft landed on American soil, and our team joined them among the stars. Wow. The EBENs have a long relationship with the Earth. Some theorists believe EBENs have had a long relationship with our planet, not to mention the people on it. They've been keeping tabs on us to such an extent that the Yellow Book contains a detailed history of Earth. It's kind of scary aliens know more about us than we do about ourselves, at least that we're willing to share. At least they were willing to share, rather. Number 4, President Eisenhower met with the aliens in the 50s. The theory goes that Eisenhower faked items on his schedule so he could conduct secret meetings with the EBENs. Apparently, Eisenhower had at least 3 meetings with the aliens and helped set up good relationships between us and them. Those talks helped set the stage for the Holloman landing, which gave us the Yellow Book. See, that you'd never heard of the Yellow Book at all, huh?
No, huh?
Yeah, me either. This is brand new. So there is a Red Book written by humans. Not many people have read the Yellow Book, but those who have made detailed reports on it for presidents. These reports are gathered in what's called the Red Book, not to be confused with the women's magazine of the same name. Reports filed in the Red Book began in 1947 and were created as recently as 2005. Wonder if that's the first thing they give presidents when they enter office. Yeah, there's that legendary envelope that awaits every president when they take office. Maybe. Aliens stopped by in 1964 to give us an Encyclopedia Galactica. The story goes that after making contact with us, the EBENs dropped by Holloman's Air Force Base in April 1964. They gave us the Yellow Book, which is essentially the EBENs' version of History of the Universe. A female EBEN nicknamed EBE2 presented the book device to the U.S. government and translated the text for easy reading. Talk about a thoughtful gift. Lots of tongue-in-cheek here, huh?
Yep.
EBENs crashed in New Mexico in July 1947. Roswell. According to one conspiracy theory, our first contact with the EBENs, who weren't Jesus Christ in this timeline, happened when one of their ships crashed in Corona, New Mexico. An EBEN nicknamed EBE1 spent years teaching us how to use his communication device so he could contact his home planet. Through a series of messages, we established formal relations and set up meeting in 1964. EBE number 1 reportedly died before he could be reunited with his kind. Poor guy. Yeah. And here's number 8. Jesus Christ was an EBEN.
Oh, gosh.
Here we go. This is getting deeper. To make first contact with the people of Earth, an EBEN appeared in human form. That human happened to be a guy called Jesus Christ, superstar, and apparently alien. Jesus appointed the first alien ambassador to Earth, but we don't know who it was. Perhaps St. Paul.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Number 9, the Yellow Book contains information about Earth's distant past. So the Yellow Book isn't exactly a book. It's kind of an advanced e-reader that's 2.5 inches thick and has a transparent surface. If you look at the surface, words, pictures appear from all of our universal history dating back to at least 2000 BC. Sounds like a lot to take in, and it also like the aliens kind of dropped the ball on early Mesopotamian history. What gives, EBENs?
Yeah.
EBENs don't see time as linear.
You know, I got to back up for a second
Sure.
to that last statement.
Okay.
So how could they not go back to the Mesopotamian era if we had this person named Gilgamesh, who was a giant, and then, of course, the Sumerian kings who were supposedly brought here or stayed here from contact with the Anunnaki. So I don't know how they would not know that unless that's just disinformation.
Maybe it's not supposed to be disseminated information.
So now we're being lied to by the aliens.
Or not maybe lied, but maybe just the parts of it aren't being revealed yet.
Okay, so omission is still alive.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll give you that. But it could be that. So they don't see time as linear. According to the Yellow Book, aliens don't quite see the universe set in the same way as we do. Rather than using a progression of forward measured time, they see history through an event clock, which includes future events. As we pointed out, however, many of these events failed to happen. Maybe future EBENs are from an alternate timeline. Or they screwed up the timeline. Who knows?
Thank gosh for CERN.
Yep, the CERN did it. Close Encounters of the Third Kind was inspired by the EBENs. According to some theorists, Steven Spielberg's famous 1977 film Close Encounters of the Third Kind was inspired by the Holloman landing, down to the details such as spoiler, how many humans aboard the spacecraft at the end of the film. The Holloman landing had been in the public eye for a while at the time of the film's release. Close Encounters was a passion project of Spielberg since the early 70s, so the timing lines up. You never know. I love that movie. That's a beautiful movie. It really is. Kind of disturbing.
Do you know?
What?
I have never seen it.
Still?
Yeah.
Dude, watch the movie.
Never seen it.
That's your homework.
Okay, fine.
Come back when you've watched it.
All right.
All right. We've been communicating with EBENs for decades. Thanks to the technical assistance of EBE1, we've supposedly been sending messages back and forth with EBENs for decades. They sent us the location of their home system, and in return, we sent them pictures of Earth. Well, Benny and Barney Hill were already after that, right? Because the Zeta Reticuli were supposedly who took them up, right?
Right. Yep.
How are we able to send pictures isn't clear. But we're guessing it has to do with awesome alien technology. Either that or DM on Instagram. Oh, man, they don't get paid for the jokes here, do that, Ranker. The EBENs seem to like the pictures because after they set up some meeting times. So this, it just occurs to me, how would you communicate? And I think of like quantum entanglement.
Right.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
So if you were to take an atomic structure and strip an electron from one and shoot it to the other side of the galaxy,
Right.
you could move that electron, and however it moved would be mirrored in the rest of the structure, even on the other side of the galaxy, instantly.
Right.
And so that would seem to be like vibration, right?
Sure.
So if you could vibrate one like a sound wave, you could create a sound wave on the other one.
Right.
Is what occurs to me. And I mean, that would, if it's instantaneous, even across the entire cosmos, that'd be perfect. Anyway, just me. This is the stuff that goes on in my head. It's a scary place. Some think the Yellow Book was meant to mislead us.
No.
they get the clip from Independence Day when the White House gets nuked. Oh, it shouldn't surprise you. There's a conspiracy theory to the conspiracy theory.
Of course.
Some believe the Yellow Book was meant to throw humanity off course. Apparently, it's made quite a few predictions that have yet to happen or failed to happen altogether. What those predictions are, however, remains a mystery. There seems to be enough. That's what it says. There seems to be enough false promises that people are getting suspicious. Maybe the apes sent them from the future to mess with our heads. That's Planet of the Apes. Yeah, reference. Okay, gotcha.
To hell.
The Yellow Book was really given to us by a time traveler.
No way.
Is another idea.
Huh.
A man named Dan Burrish claims to be a scientist who worked at Area 51. According to Burrish, the Yellow Book wasn't given to us by the EBENs. Instead, the manuscript was bestowed by a time traveler named J-Rod. Is he a rapper?
Right. No, yeah, J-Rod. Yeah, there's supposedly a video of an interview with J-Rod.
Okay.
Going around, the verses.
Okay. Well, he may or may not be related to baseball player A-Rod. Oh, there you go. Bump. we don't know when J-Rod is supposedly from, but the guy's risking quite a few predestination paradoxes. Could be. Aliens choose to land in the United States. That's kind of egotistical, isn't it?
Yes.
That sounds like to me. Okay, so while it hasn't been explicitly stated, many accounts of the EBENs emphasize how much they trusted the United States government. Well, they must have a lot more faith than a lot of us do. We don't know why this is the case, but it's an inescapable conclusion based on all the evidence. At the end of the day, we should be thankful they didn't trust the Soviet Union. Maybe the EBENs are capitalists or Trotskyists who turned their backs on the Soviets after Trotsky's assassination. Or maybe they're Dadaists and they're made the whole thing up and are smoking a giant hookah in space right now, laughing their tails off. Information gathered from the Yellow Book helps stop terrorist attacks. Oh, there you go. Analysts have purportedly pored over the Red Book, the Cliff Notes version of the Yellow Book, and information contained therein to stop terrorist attacks. According to some sources, the NSA successfully prevented 16 post 9/11 terror attacks. Apparently, we have much more to thank the aliens for than simply revealing the secrets of the universe. Now, if they could just give us ray guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Or lightsabers.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Because, like, you know,
There'd be a whole.
we're like totally peaceful kind of people.
Yeah, there'd be so many
We'd be like,
amputees running
You know
around.
what? If there was like a mercenary force in the universe, and we would be like at the top of the chain of like most violent and most cunning, but they would still consider us apes in our thinking, but they'd still be awed at our penchant for violence and death.
Yeah, we can do some violence.
We got that down.
Yep. So there's that list of the EBENs and the Yellow Book. I had not heard of this.
Yeah.
This is all brand new to me. It sounds way out there. I mean, I'll be fine to put my stamp of I don't know what the hell this is all about on it, but
Is it WTF?
Yeah, it's a WTH anyway.
Yeah.
What the hell? And
the
maybe
Zeta Reticular Exchange Program.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you think of the Betty and Barney Hill incident, now she had asked, or she had been given a book, which was then later rescinded, before she was able to leave the craft. But could that have been the Yellow Book?
That's an interesting, that's good because we've talked about that before. Yeah.
So
interesting.
Right. So maybe that's the Yellow Book, or they were gonna give that at first, and I don't know what the date for the Betty and Barney Hill thing was versus
1964.
So maybe it was another copy of the Yellow Book. I don't know. Could be. Maybe every one of the craft have them, but that's the article, folks. That was creepy theories about the Yellow Book and the EBENs. Even though you didn't know it.
Oh my gosh.
You do now. Thank you.
September 19th and 20th, 1961.
61. Okay.
Right.
So by this account, the Yellow Book was given in when the exchange happened, the people exchange, right? When people or the meeting at that base.
The Holloman.
Holloway, yeah, yep. Holloman Air Force Base meeting.
Well, because the whole Eisenhower thing happened in 53. 1953, like in February, I think it was.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. Very, very weird, but there you have it, folks. That is the EBENs and the Yellow Book. I knew nothing about it before. I don't know that I really understand it now. It's just it's a whole new tunnel of the rabbit holes, I guess. Mm-hmm. But very interesting. I think that stuff's cool. What do you think, Don?
I think I really want to kind of dive into that.
Yeah, I think
do some.
I think you should
reading and such.
See what you can pull up about
because
that.
I have. Well, yeah, I've been looking into it already. But I've talked about the Book of Alien Races.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I have it downloaded on my phone, I think. But so I'll have to look into that. Now that wasn't. I think there were 29 races in that.
Okay.
I have to remember, but I've gone over it on previous shows.
Right.
So I'll have to jump into this yellow and red book.
Yeah.
And see what comes up.
Right. Yeah. It sounds like the Yellow Book is more of a mechanical device, but the Red Book is more it's the notated highlights or whatever. But it's funny because they start out saying, well, if you start reading it. You stop. You got to start over from the beginning.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, if it's just an electronic device, then okay, maybe it doesn't let you just
maybe
open.
It like flashy things you at the end.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like, okay, now that you've read this.
Yeah, it's Men in Blacks. Yeah.
It was swamp gas reflecting off your anus.
Oh, nice.
That wasn't swamp gas.
That was not swamp gas. But there you go. Cool article all the same. So when we come back, we're going to go to the next break in about 6 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's flying.
Yeah.
It's flying. But we're going to get into 24 people share what made them believe in the supernatural.
That's cool.
I like these kind of stories because here's the thing. I mean, usually skeptics are so fierce with their skepticism, and it's I imagine it's them defending their paradigm as much as anything. So that's their safe space. And of course, people are aggressive. I want to protect what I know.
Right.
This is where I'm comfortable. Don't shake that up.
The rose glasses.
Right. Exactly. This is my safe space. you're shaking me out of my safe space, and they get voracious and they get aggressive, and it's really kind of neat when they have an experience that they can't ignore. Now I'm always surprised with the number of people that have made the statements, including on this show. I don't believe in ghosts, but this one time, this thing happened, and I don't know what the hell's going on.
Right.
And they go on to tell the most fantastical spiritual ghost story ever.
And they just don't believe it. They can't even believe their own words.
Right. Their own experience.
Right.
You know, and it's like, wow. So they just totally turn that off. Like, no, you know, I don't know what happened, but I once time experienced this. I don't know what the hell that is, but I don't believe in ghosts. It's like, okay, well, you know, we all like to tailor reality to fit us, and that's fine. But I would say that everybody, I think, has had experiences. Most people, I think, explain them away.
Right.
And of course, you know, some people have had a lot of experiences. Some people have had very few. But
Right.
I think everybody had those weird experiences where something went sideways and they can't quite explain it.
You know, I have to say, you know, that one day when we were doing a show, and it felt like something moved through me, and I just got cold and the chills and this and that, and it stopped, you know, right in between us.
Yep.
You know, I have to honestly say that, you know, I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah.
There is no, but the thing is I haven't had anything like that happen since then either. So it's that, you know, the kind of the scientific way, you know, repeatable, you know,
Sure.
repeatable results.
Right.
You know, but that doesn't mean that, you know, something didn't happen. You know, something happened. I mean, it was just weird.
Right.
You know, so, you know, my paradigm is open,
Yep.
you know, so I'll give you that.
No, I appreciate that. I think that's powerful. And including when you left that night,
Yeah.
the lights you were seeing in the sky out here.
Was it that night?
No, that was a different night.
Oh, it was a different night. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's
But I'm
because
just
you
saying
look up
just-
and you're like, wow, you know,
Yeah.
what is that? You know, and it's like makes no sense.
Yeah, I think it's very powerful. It was a very powerful experience of you seeing something in the night sky you couldn't explain. But I don't think you know, I have to say in your defense, you've never been a hardcore nope skeptic.
Right.
I think that you're skeptical, and I think that that's healthy.
Right.
And I think that it's a healthy place for all of us. And it's that I was just going over on last night's show some images that I had an image that I'd seen on a group online.
Right.
And it's supposed to be of a chupacabra with a backstory of this rancher having those goats die, and
Right.
they were all punctured, and then he looked over and saw this thing sitting there and managed to get a pristine photo of it.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, that's really powerful. And
Yeah.
and over the break, I'll show you the picture. But but I did do a reverse image search on it,
Right.
and I did get a 74% match.
Really?
And the match was a hairless chimp that was perfect. It was exactly matching.
Oh, really?
Except the face was edited.
Right.
And it was a damn good fake, though. It really was a damn good
wow.
fake. But it's just like, man, you got to be skeptical when you're reviewing
Right.
proof or
Right.
evidence.
Because
So-
it's got to be true because it was on the interwebs.
Yeah. I found it on a web page.
Wow, 74% though. That's 3/4.
Yep.
Positive.
Right.
So-
Yep. So I use this thing called Tiny Eye. If
Okay.
you do reverse image search on Google, it'll come up. One of the sites that comes up is Tiny Eye.
Right.
And that's the one. And you know, I let the person know. Oh, are we still on YouTube?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah.
I just got a message from Ma saying she lost us, but
Oh.
stream's current bit rate is higher. Well, that's not unusual. I'm still showing green. I'm still going green, and we're still got everything looks. I don't know.
Excellent. Yeah. So stream.
Are you guys in the chat getting the stream okay? Let me know. See you seeing the stream okay? Cause just got a message about it being. We heard frogs. No, they haven't responded yet.
So Happy
Oh.
Girl says yes.
Okay, good. Okay,
we're good.
I guess we're back and we're live. So just hang in there, folks. But
We gotta
yeah,
go to a break here, don't we?
we do. But we still got about a minute left.
Minute.
So.
Wow.
Yeah. So we could talk about Medellin Falls again pretty quick.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, check your calendars if you live in the Pacific Northwest or if you're able to make a trip to the Pacific Northwest. Check your availability on June 19th and 20th to come to Medellin Falls, Washington. And it's going to be an amazing event. It's the Bigfoot Festival. The whole community is celebrating. There's a 5K race. There's going to be several incredible speakers. The speaking engagements are sold out, but all of the speakers are going to be made available in a big circus tent area that's going to be outside of the main speaking hall, where people can meet these people, have a chance to talk to Bob Gimlin, to Ken Gerhard, to Amy Boo, to Adam Davies, to Shane Corson, and several others.
The list just keeps going.
Yeah, and I still can't announce the next big name, but there's going to be another big name announcing being there as well. Maybe not in a speaking capacity, but there. So lots of people to meet. It's a bucket list in a weekend, June 19th and 20th, Medellin Falls, Washington. So check it out. We'll be right back. Just a couple minutes. Going to break. Don't go away.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, ripping scars across my heart. Raging anger boils inside me as their lies keep falling apart. With my silence, I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness, just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise, you're just another fucking mess. Taking all the slice of my sanity, just make sure that you're well fed.
Carol Ann is not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force. It is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hour number 2 is already here. I can't believe it's gone so fast, but this is the wave that is the Paranormal Portal. It kind of washes over us, and we get inundated with it, but we have a lot of fun doing it. Hopefully you're having a lot of fun being here with us as well. Lots of you are joining us tonight. We're glad to see you. Thank you so much for staying here and camping out with us on this Friday night. Special evening to have Don here instead of Saturday.
Hey!
He won't be here tomorrow.
Nope.
So, and it's just, I got to suck all the fun out of it tonight. That didn't sound right at all.
Oh, boy.
I wish I could take that back. All right. So, anyway, let's continue on. Let's see where the portal's going to take us now. And I think, as I said before the break, we're going to come back and start talking about 24 people that share what made them believe in the supernatural. Again, I love these stories because I think that, you know, when people have that epiphany, it's a very powerful thing. And I know changing a paradigm is very brutal for some people. It's very challenging and it's very threatening. But I think it's also, it's a verification. And, you know, like for instance, that experience you were talking about, Don, that feeling moving through you in the cold. And you know, that same night, I recall feeling an icy cold on this arm between us as well. So it was like right between us, right there. And that's
the
where
spaces between.
Right. Yeah, exactly. As if maybe it was Paisley in her conjuring ways. But, you know, it's those experiences I think are so profound because they instill hope. They instill this idea that life continues. There's faith, there's believing, there's, you know, the wishful idea that many people have, and all of those things are powerful. But when you experience an energetic, presence like that, I think it's very, very, you know, it just solidifies the basis for those faiths and can be so empowering. So let's get into this list and see what you guys think.
Yes.
See what gave these people the belief.
Right. Excellent.
All right. So the first one, and this is coming from justforspooks.com. 24 people share what made them believe in the supernatural. And let's see what they say. My brother had been in a severe motorcycle accident. He'd fallen 30 feet off an overpass onto a sloping hill, shattering his vertebrae, along with broken legs, hips, and damaged organs, and we were sure he was not going to survive, and made the ER our home while waiting to see if he would awaken from his coma. Excuse me. After a while, he did finally come to, but was not as lucid as we had hoped. He was still drugged a bit, but one day we came by and the nurse waved us on in to come and visit, and she left, and me and my father sat next to my brother. He spoke to us in a raspy voice and asked, "Where did the baby go?"
Oh.
My father and I were confused, as only the nurse had been in the room, but my brother was adamant that a woman carrying a baby in a basket had been standing over him. My father decides to walk over to the nurse and ask her if any woman with infants had been visiting my brother. Well, she looked puzzled and replied, "No, no one has been by." So my father, being a spiritual man, asks, "Ma'am, Are you pregnant? And this woman's eyes widen and she pales. And as she stammers out that yes, she is, and that she just found out about it 2 days ago.
Wow.
She had yet to tell anyone, and even the father of the baby or her parents. He also claimed that when he had first awoken from his coma, drifting in and out of consciousness, that he had seen children surrounding his bed, guarding him. I know it might be the opiates and morphine that they had him on, but he believes to this day that something, angels or what have you, were to protecting him in his time of need. I'm not religious or a believer in most supernatural, but this shook me pretty hard and when these events happened. That's so cool. And I would have never put that together.
Wow, yeah.
You know, I mean, that she was the one carrying the baby. But he saw it in a vision of her carrying it in a basket. And yet it was...
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's powerful. Wow. Here's the next one. Sorry, I got a hair sticking in my nose. My Anubis is up on here. I don't know what it is. What is it with cats? They not only got to walk right past you, but then they have to have that antenna tail, and it's like has to brush against everything, just wiping off all the sheds. It's
wow.
Like, oh. All right. So mentioned in another thread, but I worked with a guy who was a twin. I'll call him X. And one day I see him at work, and he's absolutely pale. I ask him, "What's wrong?" And he tells me he thinks he's having an allergic reaction, because it feels as if like his throat is swollen and he can't breathe. I tell him if he wants, I'll take him to the hospital. And he says, I might take you up on that. I feel like I'm going to pass out. But after a bit, he's feeling better. So we just go back to work. Next day, he's off work, and I ask a coworker if X is sick, if he did have an allergic reaction. And he says, no, X called in. X's twin brother died yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And yes, before you ask, his twin brother had died of suffocation.
Wow.
I don't believe in the supernatural, but this was such an amazing coincidence. It really did put a shadow of doubt in my mind.
And well, it should.
Yeah.
So
That should, yeah. I mean, that's how amazingly powerful is that? You know, because you often hear those stories of twins, how they're just,
Right.
they're so connected. And, you know, I've known many twins that weren't, but you know, those ones that really are, it's really cool. I would kind of be envious,
Right.
you know, of what it would be like to grow up with somebody that was just so you, that it was just like, you know, being together, you know,
Right.
it was like, I don't know, it just seems like it'd be such a comfortable place to have this other person that was exactly you, almost exactly you.
You know, as a matter of fact, I have, I know somebody who has a identical twin.
Uh-huh.
And they don't have that twin thing.
Oh, really?
They just don't. And they're
Yeah.
twin girls.
Oh,
which is like,
okay.
you know.
Wow. Yeah, I've not known many identical twins. I've known the fraternal twins or
Right.
whatever, but...
Oh, yeah, I knew a couple fraternal twins, too. Boy, they hated each other.
Yeah, the ones I knew
Gosh,
fought
they're
like cats and dogs all their lives, too.
So sad, so different.
Yeah. Yeah. So the next one on this list is I had a dream watching a man I didn't recognize fall to his death on a job site. I don't usually remember my dreams, and I almost never had bad dreams, but this one stuck with me, and I told it to my family. 2 weeks later, I was working, laborer for masonry company, on a scaffold, and I looked down and recognized the man from my dream. Just then, I realized that I was the one that could die. I dropped the buckets of mud I was carrying and grabbed the edge of the scaffolding, just as some other guy bumped me off, and I would have died if I fell.
Wow.
Wow. Just as that. Wow. I wrote about it a while back. There's a link to that. But anyway, whether or not the dream was a premonition, the dream saved my life. It's always made me question if there is something supernatural out there. Always by supernatural, I mean natural, but not yet understood.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. 424, the next one is, there are 2 times once when I saw a low-flying UFO, most likely a prototype B-3 bomber, when I lived near an Air Force base that was randomly shut down for a while. And the other was a story a stripper told me. A stripper story. Uh-oh. She came over to my apartment.
What's her name? Crescent?
I don't know. Probably Destiny. She came over to my apartments, which my grandfather owned, and said she was getting freaked out by the building. She had always claimed that she had psychic powers and could hear the dead, etc., and we laughed at her. Anyways, I'll try to speed this up. My current roommate at the time was there the night the stripper started rambling this crazy story about a newlywed wife being murdered and buried at the bottom of a well with this part of the house being built on top of it. The original building was an old school cafeteria, and she mentioned that as well. While hearing the story, my roommate freaked out because his uncle told him a story about how my roommate's great-grandfather killed his first wife and buried her in a well.
Wow.
Apparently, he told this to his uncle as a child on his deathbed. I laughed and I said, how is all this just... I laughed and said how this is all just silly, etc. About 2 months later, my grandfather showed up and wanted to meet my roommate. Turns out my grandfather purchased the property from his great-grandfather at a crazy low price and then turned the building into 3 separate apartments. I remembered what the stripper said and was thought, wow, that's just a weird coincidence. Years later, my grandfather's health started failing, so I and some of the other family members started looking after his rental properties. I got a call from a tenant saying a pipe froze, etc., and I got a propane torch, some solder, and went to investigate. Traced the pipe to the start of the problem, under the house through this crazy small crawl space. I set my torch down on the rim of some bricks and noticed they were in a circle.
Ooh.
Used my flashlight to look down, and it was a stone well that somebody poorly sealed up. I remembered the stripper, freaked out, left, and called for a plumber to do the job.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like Ring. It's the
Yep.
Ringster Samara.
Does he end up coming from a well?
Yeah, that's what the ring
Oh,
was. It was
okay.
her. It was her looking up from the bottom of the well. Spoiler alert.
Okay, I've not seen it,
Yeah.
nor will I.
Oh, God.
I just don't watch those kind of movies.
You have little in the sense of adventure. Watch that movie.
Maybe.
Your homework is to watch that movie.
Okay.
If I've got to watch
Close Encounters?
you've got to watch
All right.
The Ring.
I can pull the ring.
All
up.
right.
Okay. My biggest fights with my mom was her trying to sneak onions into my food all the time. I hated them. Then she passed away about 5 years ago. And about 2 weeks after, I started to get a craving for, onions. First was just like soups and chips. Then it got out of control. I woke up eating raw onion and tomato sandwiches and cooked almost everything with onions. Started getting favorite onions. I still eat them, but not raw in the morning way. Miss you, Mom. Well, that's kind of sweet.
Well, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday,
Okay.
and we were talking about like ham sandwiches because I like ham sandwiches with a thick cut of onion on it. Just slice it off and throw that slab right on the bread.
Whoa. Okay.
Throw that ham on there and just right.
Sure.
So onions are good for you, by the way,
Okay.
especially raw onions.
Yeah, that's my dad always used to
Side
say.
note. Yeah.
My dad loved onions. He told me to put hair on his chest. That's why I never really ate onions. I like them grilled up and stuff. I'm just not a real big fan of raw onions. So number 6. When I was younger, we'd go ghost hunting. Never really expected to see anything, but Ohio's known to have a plethora of supposedly haunted venues. Yes, it is. Ohio is crawling with stuff. One night we went out to a dilapidated old house that supposedly was haunted. We poked around a bit and filmed while we were doing it. Nothing real exciting until we went to check out the locked up machine building out back. And this is where it got freaky.
Wow.
As we were walking out...
You have a button for that.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
As we were walking out, we noticed at least 10 do not enter signs posted, as well as just how well sealed the shop was. The doors were barred, chained, nailed, and welded shut.
Wow.
Instantly, the temperature around us dropped, and we could see our breath. It was 70-degree night in the height of summer, and we got all this strange feeling of something dark pushing us away from the shop. We proceeded to get the hell out of there. Later, reviewing our footage, we confirmed you could see our breath. You could see the instant it happened. All 3 people and the camera person stopped dead in their tracks at the exact same time. I've been to a lot of haunted places, and this is the only thing that's made me a believer with firsthand experiences. Yeah, no doubt. That's a solid experience. Mm-hmm. Next one is best friend's dad died suddenly. A few days later, it was time for the funeral service, as it had been raining like crap the entire day. Just a completely gray sky. At the moment of silence during the said service, the sun started shining through the roof window like crazy, illuminating the entire room. Gave me goosebumps, even though I usually tend to be a skeptic.
Gave you goof bumps?
Goof bumps. Yeah, that's what happens when my palate doesn't respond. Goosebumps. That's pretty cool. I've seen the sun break through at some really poetic times, and it's like, man, if there's not an intelligence doing that, then the odds have got to be astronomical at just being random. That's powerful experiences for sure. Number 8, I've had 2 experiences. The first can be corroborated by 4 other people. The second, well, I could have just been hallucinating.
Okay, so there's the denial.
Okay. First story was my freshman year in college. I get in bed when I hear my roommate say, Smalls, look at the ceiling. 6 green glowing handprints are staggered across the ceiling like someone crawled over the ceiling.
That's not good.
They were huge handprints too.
That's even worse.
We run out of the room and get our neighbors, and we tell them we think we're being haunted. We're immediately called out as trying to trick them. We hit the lights and show them the handprints. I go to turn the light back on once we're done observing. 3 more handprints are now on the wall.
Oh.
They're continuing to crawl towards the light switch.
Oh.
Yeesh. We're freaked out at this point. We get wet cloths and remove the handprints, and the washing seems to work. They're gone once we're done wiping down the ceiling and walls. We discuss how weird it was and decide to see if the handprints are still gone. Hit the lights again, and now all 9 handprints are back, plus 6 more that now appeared on the ceiling above the bunk bed 2 of my friends were sitting on. We couldn't get the handprints to go away that night. We fell asleep in the room with the handprints there. I slept soundly through the night, which I also consider pretty odd considering the circumstances.
Wow.
The second story, I'm 22 years old and home on winter break from college. I wake up in the middle of the night and see someone is in my room. My eyes are adjusting to the darkness so I can make out it was a woman. I assume it's just my mom and ask her what she's doing, but I get no response. Now I start getting very worried. I ask again, no response. My eyes keep adjusting to the darkness. It's a woman in a white nightgown standing 3 to 4 feet from my bed. I keep looking at the figure, and now I notice it's a girl, maybe 14 years old, just standing there. I notice her eyes are fixed on me as she's slowly rotating to her left, and her head is cocked on her shoulder. Then I realize it's as if she's hanging from the ceiling and staring at me as she's slowly rotating. Yeah, I know this sounds crazy, and I was well aware of it at the time. I told myself this is a waking dream, and it's not happening at all. I made myself stay there and stare back at her, knowing it would go away. I could do this for only about 5 more seconds, probably. A lot less in reality. Seemed like more. Before I busted into my parents' room in my boxers at 3 a.m, screaming about ghosts. That's right, a 22-year-old wearing nothing but his boxers, screaming to his parents that there are ghosts in his room. Of course, nothing was there when we went back to the room. This is most likely a waking dream, but man, I was staring at the figure for a long time, telling myself it was all in my head. That figure still stayed there until I couldn't take it anymore. Yeesh. Yeah, that's weird. I wonder how long it would last. I mean, it couldn't be indefinite, right? Something would happen.
You know, and it's probably just that space between awake and asleep, you know, or asleep and awake, you know, just that time, because a lot of people take a long time to wake up. Yeah. They're stuck in that spot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't know.
Very
Craziness.
weird, though. Very weird. All right, we got the 9th story. When I was 15 years old, I lived in Victoria, British Columbia. There were some old houses, someone famous or famous family or something like that. And they lived there in the early 20th century. And there are some ghost stories about the house. Maybe 7 years back, they moved the houses to a park next to the museum. There are tours, and you can go through the houses on your own as well. A friend of mine, his family, and I all went through the house together. And in the basement room of one of the houses, we saw a woman playing piano. And she played very well. And we complimented her on her abilities. The employees working as tour guides and such were period clothes, and she smiled, nodded, and kept playing. We went about on tour, and at the end we said to the man working there that the piano player was really good. Well, he looked confused and said there was no piano player employed there. All the employees were male. We looked at the photo on the wall behind him showing the entire family, circa 1800s and early 1900s, and there was the piano player sitting with the family. We went back, and there was a thin, untouched layer of dust on the piano, as well as the bench. Wow. Could have just been the creative hoax to draw in tourists, or could be legit. All I know is that her face was exactly the one in the photo. Yikes. That's pretty cool, though. And the other cool part is the acknowledgement. Like, oh, you played beautifully. Oh, smile and nod. Right. So it's like, it's still very powerful. Number 10. A woman who was a close family friend was diagnosed with stomach cancer while pregnant with her son. Oh, my God. What an ordeal. Well, this is almost 30 years ago. So the only option was pretty much to terminate the pregnancy to allow treatment. She was a devout Catholic, so she chose to forego the treatments until the child was born. After her child was born, she underwent surgery to try and remove some of the cancerous tissue. Upon opening her, doctors found so much cancerous tissue, they decided that she was terminal and closed her back up. She began praying, asking God to allow her to raise her son and see him grow up safely. A later CT scan showed her completely free of cancer. About 20 years later, her son went into the police academy and got married. Less than a year later, she was diagnosed with cancer again, and it spread at a ravaging pace until she died. On her deathbed, she recalled her prayer and said she was not sad to die, and that God had given her exactly what she asked for. Even thinking about this story still messes with me to this day. Well, what a beautiful story, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's every parent's dream, right? Is to see the moments of your child's life as they grow into their adult versions. Man. All right, this is number 11. My mother has a really strong memory of her dad coming over to her in the backyard and offering to play with her for the first time ever when she was 9 years old. He was a generally very serious, stern, emotionally distant man. He pushed her around on her bike, played ball with her, played hide and seek, and spent the whole morning with her, just having a laugh. When she went in the house for lunch, she learned that there was no way her father had done that because he had died of stomach cancer the night before. My mom had been locked out of the house that morning because her mom wanted to make arrangements without kids underfoot. To this day, my mom is convinced that it was her father's spirit stopping by to give her one good memory of him before passing off to wherever. I always thought it must be a manufactured memory to give her comfort over losing her dad at such a young age. But who really knows? For her, it's the only proof she has that he loved her. Our entire family treats the events as fact.
Well, they should. There's
no
reason not to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful.
How old was she then? She was riding a bike.
9.
9, okay.
Yeah, so she wasn't really, really young.
Right.
Yeah, old enough to have recollection.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Number 12. Once I went on vacation with my friend and her family, and she has a large family, so we had to share a pull-out bed in the living room. We were up at night chatting, laughing, and doing girly things. You do a sleepover, and we decided to settle down and just go to sleep. So we're laying there looking around, getting comfortable, when I happen to look at the dark hallway and see a silhouette of a man. But he was partially glowing around the edges of the silhouette. He was there for probably 30 seconds, just standing there. Then just like that, it's gone. I didn't react, but I was terrified. I didn't say anything because maybe I was just being dumb and making things up when I hear my friend whisper, "Did you see that man?" She called out for her uncle, and he was upstairs in his room, and he was the only man in the house at the time, but he was sleeping. You can't see any car lights going by the house because we were in the middle of the woods, so no chance of weird lighting. I was freaked out for the rest of the vacation. There were a couple things that vacation that were really strange, but that sticks out as the strangest. Yeah, definitely. No doubt. Wow. All right, we're, I don't know, maybe we'll just do just this one, and this is the last one before the last break. So when I was really young, 8 or younger, we got up in the morning and went to the stairs of my house. I started going down the stairs and felt like something behind me. Then something lifted me off the ground and took me down the stairs. I could see a white glowing thing underneath me, sort of wiggling back and forth, and I got to the bottom of the stairs, and it shot through the wall to go outside. I felt the door handle to check if it was a dream, and I felt that although I didn't feel myself touching the ground at all. Someone please explain this. I'm not just making this up. All I can think of is I dreamed, sleepwalked, and then woke up. Also, many others, like hearing noises in the same house, and night and rooms being lit up. There's this big list, but this is definitely the one thing. Craziness, folks. But we love that kind of stuff here on the portal. So we're going to go to our last break. Don't go away. We'll be right back with the remainder of the show. Don't go away. believe it? Last half hour, folks. Wow.
Wow.
What the hell happened, Don?
And the night goes zooming by.
It does. I mean, Fridays always go fast, but
Settle down, Flash.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. It's like, I don't know how it happens, folks, but it does happen. The time just scoots away from us, but I hope it's been a memorable journey all the same for all of you all. I hope you're enjoying your time here on the portal. I know I'm enjoying bringing it to you. I'm enjoying the fact that Don's here tonight.
Yes, I'm enjoying the fact I'm here too.
Yeah, you should be here all the time, Don.
You know, if I didn't have to do this thing called a job,
Yeah, I know.
just over broke.
Got to get you one with banker's hours.
Yeah, something where I don't work Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sundays, and be
Yeah.
off before 5. That'd be great.
That'd be fine. I think that's a good game.
But then I'd probably have to wear a tie.
Oh, well, you know.
You know a tie? You know I call ties pretty little nooses, right? That's what they are. Pretty
Well,
little nooses.
yeah, I'd be kind of lost on you anyway with that beard to kind of cover a tie anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
You could just do
You know, a beard and a tie serve the same purpose. You know that, right? They're all napkins.
oh, was that it?
That's,
Okay.
Yeah, you know, it keeps it from
Keeps
you
the
know, getting
droppings.
on your shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Catches the dropping.
Yeah, and you can save it for later. It's like, oh, there's what that cookie went.
Ooh. Ooh, leftovers.
Wow.
There you have it. Love
Taste
story.
of dinners past.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Well, we got lots more Portal coming up here. What are we going to get into in this half hour? Well, one thing, I think I'll save the rest of that article for tomorrow.
There you go.
And this one as well. This one I'm going to save for tomorrow too, because there's some cool stuff. But here, I've got a dog man story. Was this the one you pulled up or the one that I pulled up? I think it's the one I pulled up.
Yeah, I didn't.
And then you had pulled up this one, the Hellhound. So I think we'll start with the Dogman story.
STOY.
I know, right? You'd swear it's just enunciations. Sometimes it gets away from me, all those syllables and vowels, and they just get trapped on my tongue and palate somewhere. And then I just, have a train wreck all the way to the roof of my mouth and then just come out. But this is an article from HertfordShireMercury.co.uk.
Okay.
HertfordShireMercury.co.uk. And this story is the terrifying dog man spotted in Hatfield Park that left a man with nightmares for years. So I had not heard of this one. I don't think we've shared this, did we?
I don't remember hearing it.
I don't remember either. So, God, I hope not. I'd hate to repeat an article. It's kind of, I remember I read it a little bit just because I was trying to see what the story was about. And now I'm trying to think, did I just read it or did I read it? And now, so I don't think we did though. And it's, he woke up sweating and screaming for years while struggling to come to terms with what he'd seen. That's a terrible thing. And that's the thing with Dogman stories, folks, is that they are usually just so over the top, just these supercharged terror fests. And granted, the beauty of it is that generally people walk away just fine. If not, obviously they probably have to scrape their underwear and they got to, pull themselves together for a while. But, they generally don't attack, which is really good because obviously they could, shred a person in a heartbeat. But it says a man is convinced that he's had multiple run-ins with a terrifying dog-man hybrid throughout his life.
Wow.
Including in a Hatfield Park. Okay. The Brit was speaking on a new podcast when Cryptids Call, and I've not heard of that one, but it sounds good, hosted by cryptozoology expert Lee Solway, when he revealed he had nightmares about a creature for years after the sightings. Colin Keelty said that he had multiple run-ins with a dogman, including in October 1990 when he was walking through a park in Hatfield, Hertfordshire, reports the Daily Star. He says that he's open to a supernatural explanation of the sighting and can't think of what else it could have been. Colin was backpacking between East Hull and Hornsey when he passed through Hatfield. At around 8:30 p.m. on October 4th, 1990, a full moon lit the place up like daylight when he noticed something strange in a gap under a hedgerow. Colin remembered, I kept looking at it. Like it's a cow or is it a deer? and it just looked like a dog's back legs. But then I thought, hold on, where's its front legs? At that moment, he managed to spot a friend who offered him a lift by chance. And when he got in, he looked back at the field, and he could see this dog standing there. He told the podcast that his friend wasn't as convinced. Colin added, I said, look, there's a dog standing in the gate hole. What's a gate? A gate hole. Get out of my gate hole. He just looked at me and said, Call, you're working a lot of hours. Get some rest. However, the incident clearly had a lasting effect on him and left him with nightmares for years. He said, to be honest, I had nightmares after that. For years, I kept waking up, and not every night, obviously, but for some months would go by and I'd have another one. And the reoccurring nightmares is this thing jumped out of the gate and just ripped me to shreds.
Wow.
And I woke up screaming some nights with sweat, even though I'm into that. Even though I'm into that, I just could not believe what I saw. I'm not sure what that means. Anyway, we're going to glide past that. It says, to solve the mystery, Colin became obsessed with trying to find the creature, and for 25 years did so without even telling his family. He believes that on one of the expeditions, he did manage to spot the dogman, but couldn't get a photo to prove it. He was walking through private woods when he found a huge pile of poo before hearing footsteps that sounded like thuds. What he did call out thinking it was just, while he did call out thinking it was just workmen, he got no answer and was sure he was just being followed. Colin explained that all this time, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. The smell was putrid. I got on all fours to see through the bracken. And then I got back up and it got back up. I started walking slowly and this thing was following me.
Wow.
Then I sped up, it sped up.
Of course it did.
Yeah, that's real common behavior. I thought, what is this thing? When I got to the end of the bracken, it bowed off to the right of me and I was going to the left. When I got to the end, I just glanced over and there's this, I don't know what the heck it was. I don't know what to say. It was huge and hairy. Why I thought it was a dogman is because of the smell. Colin ruled it out as being pranksters because they'd have no idea how anyone would be in the area, but all he could see was a mass and hair. He added, I wish I'd got my phone out and took pictures of it, but what this thing was, I don't know. But it wasn't human, I know that. Colin believes he has seen other cryptids, an animal whose existence is doubted, such as Bigfoot, before, both when he was younger and also while walking with his wife. The idea of a dogman is also not a new one, with host Lee previously explaining the first reported sighting goes back to the 17th century. Oh, okay. However, in the following 400 years, nobody has been able to prove that one has been wandering the woodlands of Hatfield. Well, yet anyway. You can listen to the show here or find it on Spotify. Well, that's cool. And wow. I can put this link into the description of the show or in the chats here if you guys want to follow up on what this story is all about. But it sounds interesting. It might be a good listen. I'm not opposed to other shows getting some promos here because if it's a good show, if it features dogmen, hell yeah.
There you go.
More power to them. There they are. I've posted that article link in both chats that I have available to me. So if you guys want to check it out, please feel free. Please feel free. But yeah, good story. There we go. Let me close that. Now we've got a terrifying story of a hellhound.
Ooh.
Hellhounds. These are quite a bit different. I don't know if they're supernatural. I think they're mostly supernatural. I mean, they're hellhounds, right? So they're supposed to be from hell.
Right.
But are there indeed big dogs that are also cited as hellhounds? I don't know. It says this is coming from, first of all, BBC.com, and it's the terrifying story of the hellhound. Terrifying tales of the hellhounds, ferocious black dogs, eyes glowing and teeth bared as they wreak vengeance on the population, have been the stuff of legend for centuries. It has cemented the place of these mythical beasts in English folklore. But how and why have accounts of their terrifying marauding spread so far and wide. In 1577, according to one particularly poetic account, a snarling beast broke into a church, rampaged through the congregation, and bit the necks of 2 people, who promptly dropped dead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Having traumatized the churchgoers of Bungay in Suffolk, the mythological dog known as Black Shuck next cropped up on the county's coast at Blytheburg. Okay. Again, it targeted worshippers, bursting through the doors of Holy Trinity Church before killing a man and boy and causing the steeple to collapse. The beast left scorch marks on the church door, according to legend. The photographer and researcher Nick Stone is mapping similar stories and has so far collected between 400 and 500 accounts.
Wow.
That's a lot of accounts. Look at that mass, though, Don.
Wow.
It's
just it's an infestation.
Right. That is. It's just that one area.
What is the green for? I mean, red's Dogman, right?
I don't know. I have no idea what the key is for this.
Yeah.
It's not a link, so I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe there are different kinds of sightings, like seen, heard. I don't know.
Oh yeah, like
tracks, maybe.
Yeah, like whatever. I can't think. Like sighting, an A sighting, like an A, B, and C EVP.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever type of sighting.
Right.
So, red might be the most powerful of types. I guess this is all the UK here, and then there's Norway and such. I don't know my geography very well here. There's France, Spain, Portugal. I don't know what the purple means. That's weird. But anyway, let's continue. The first written record of the Hellhound dates back to nearly 1,000 years. Stories added to the map speak of lonely pets pining for dead masters and packs of hounds led in wild hunts by men on horseback. Hellhounds were also reported to appear at 17th century witch trials. But not all accounts of Black Shuck depict the beast as a ferocious predator. In Littleport in Cambridgeshire, a shadowy canine is said to have turned protector, rescuing a local girl from an attempted rape by a friar. Awesome. That's really cool. According to the legend, the dog died in the struggle, and its ghost was left to wander through the countryside. There are similar stories of a black dog under the other names along the east coast of England. Norwich-based Mr. Stone, who began the interactive mapping project in August as part of Public Archaeology 2015, said, "Living in Norfolk, it's probably the most prevailing piece of kids' scary folklore." While the stories are largely spread through word of mouth, the earliest written record of the Hellhound is found in the 11th and 12th century in Peterborough version of the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. The chronicler wrote that reliable witnesses had seen packs of dogs, jet black with eyes like saucers, and horrible, led in a wild hunt by men on horseback, traveling through the woods stretching between Peterborough and Stamford.
Yeah, that's called the Wild Hunt.
Yeah, okay. Lorna Richardson, a researcher in public archaeology at the University of Umeå in Sweden, said folklore was often overlooked when assessing the importance of a landscape or a place. There are lots of different tales or takes on the dog legend. As Nick's map has shown, it spreads into Europe and back in time. That's it. Very cool. Nothing definitive, but there's apparently a hell of a history. That's a lot.
A hell of a history of a hellhound?
Hellhound history. That's some Hellhound history right there, Don.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, indeed. I went there. Yeah, I don't know. It's an oddity for sure. I don't know. Do I have time for this? I think so, because this is a pretty quick little article. Yeah. So I want to close with this last article of the night. This is from Brent Swanser, Mysterious Universe, brand new. And it's The Weird Mystery of William Cantelo, the Teleporting Inventor. And please check out his work on mysteriousuniverse.org. Check out his group online, Dark League Paranormal on Facebook. Get to know Brent Swanser and all of his works. And Mysterious Universe has thousands of articles, amazing articles, of all kinds of Fortean and paranormal stuff. So worth your look for sure. The 19th century British inventor William Cantelo was a rather eccentric man who set up shop of curiosities in the early 1870s on French Street in Southampton. On display were various oddball inventions that he'd come up with over the years, which always turned heads, but Cantelo himself began to spend more and more time away at a more secret location, working on something he claimed to be revolutionary and a game changer. Cantelo happened to be the landlord for a pub called the Old Tower Inn, and it was here where he had a mysterious tunnel that led off into the gloom, which he would enter and not leave for sometimes days on end. No one quite knew what he was doing down there in that tunnel, but it seemed that he had a workshop down there, which began to produce quite a lot of rumors. Then one day he would just vanish without a trace and leave behind him a tale of weird inventions, doppelgangers, unexplained mysteries, and teleportation.
Wow.
People in the area of the pub began telling of hearing strange noises coming from down in the gloom, such as a bizarre humming sound and occasional loud noises that sounded like gunshots, which came in rapid succession. And then there were also reports that there could sometimes be seen weird flickering lights or smoke coming from the darkness of the tunnel. This went on for some time, but Cantelo wouldn't tell anyone what he was up to, only his sons knowing the truth, and further spread rumors. People knew he was designing some new invention, and speculation flew about what it could be, with ideas ranging from that it was some sort of light machine or weapon to that it was a time machine. It would not be until 1880 that he would finally announce that he had designed and perfected a revolutionary new type of portable, handheld, fully automatic machine gun. At the time, this was a pretty big deal, and it generated much excitement. Cantelo packed it into a suitcase and hit the road with his new invention, supposedly to find a buyer, but he would never come back. It was very bizarre because Cantelo had not mentioned going on a long trip. In fact, he had only planned to be gone for a day or two at most. So when the days turned into weeks, authorities were notified, and the family also hired a private investigator. It would be found that he had withdrawn a large amount of cash from his bank, and that was about it. Further muddying the waters were that there were strange rumors doing the rounds by people in the vicinity of Cantelo's workshop, who claimed to have seen him enter the tunnel, followed by an array of flashing lights and smoke, after which he never came back out. Another rumor was that he had fled to America, something which the private investigator found some evidence of, but other than what had happened to Cantelo was anyone's guess. And this is where things would stand until 1881, when the case would get even stranger. In that year, the American inventor by the name of Hiram Maxim moved to the United Kingdom with a whole bunch of amazing inventions and fantastic claims. In addition to numerous patents for all manner of odd devices, from mousetraps to curling irons, he also claimed to have developed a working light bulb and plans for powered flight. But what really stood out was his invention for a fully automatic machine gun, which he called the Maxim gun, which it would be by chance that one day Cantelo's sons saw a picture of this inventor and immediately recognized him as their missing father. It was odd, as he had not been gone long enough to have made the long journey back to America and back, and they could find no reason for why he would have taken up a new identity, but they were sure of it. There's two pictures there, I guess. Yeah, does look like the same guy. The sons and private investigator made finding out more about this Maxim guy a new mission. It turned out that the design for the Maxim gun was nearly identical to the one their father had developed. In fact, it looked exactly the same. And the oddities did not stop there. Cantelo had always carried a book of Maxims with him in his pocket, which led the brothers to believe that he might have taken that as his new name. There were allegedly some witnesses who claimed Cantelo had even called his own invention the Maxim gun. However, there was plenty of evidence to show that Maxim actually was born in the United States and that he had gotten 271 patents from 1866. It seems like he couldn't possibly be Cantelo, but his family was not convinced. In the meantime, rumors swirled that Cantelo had escaped to the States to pursue selling his invention under a new identity, and even more outlandish claims that he had actually built a teleporting machine to travel back and forth between the countries. These rumors were further fueled by when Maxim refused to speak to the Cantelo family, merely sending them a letter insisting he was not from the Isle of Wight, where Cantelo had been born, which was odder still because no one but his close family even knew he was from there. On one occasion, they managed to catch sight of the American inventor and were certain it was their father, but he rode off in a carriage before they confront him. In the end, Maxim would refuse to comment on any of this, so at the time it was a curious mystery. In more recent years, the case has been looked at again, notably on the BBC program Punt PI, in which Steve Punt discovered that Maxim had apparently complained about someone impersonating him in the United States, and also came to the conclusion that Maxim and Cantelo's guns do in fact look the same after showing the pictures to the Royal Armories. He also had the pictures of Cantelo and Maxim compared by a facial recognition expert who came to the conclusion that while the two men look very similar, there are some differences, though their prominent beards make it difficult to do a full analysis. The main conclusion is that the case was just a series of remarkable coincidences, and that the two were in fact different men. Nevertheless, this doesn't explain where Cantelo went or what happened with him, and there were just enough odd features of the case that have managed to keep it alive as a true modern mystery.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. There you have it, folks. Could he be teleporting? Could he have done that? Well, I think the teleporting was all just absolute speculation, but very interesting. Makes you wonder what those people tucked away in their little secret labs stumble onto, though. I mean, a machine gun at that age, in that era, was revolutionary.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, what was it? The Gatling gun was about it. That was hand cranked. That was in the 1880s, right?
Yes.
Gatling gun?
Yes.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. I don't know. But that's an oddity and a cool story. More of a mystery than anything, but still. Maybe not so paranormal, but definitely not normal. Which is how we roll here in this portal. But anyway, I don't know. What do you think, Don?
Is it time?
It's just minutes away. Can you believe it? Literally about 3 minutes. Literally 3.
3 minutes. Wow.
Are you with me? Okay.
No, I'm battling. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. So anyway, I think that it's just, it's always a pleasure, as always, to bring you guys the shows. As I mentioned before, Don won't be joining us tomorrow night because he's been scheduled differently now. So he's going to be coming in here and there at different shows when he can make it, maybe more than ever before, which would be cool. But we're definitely happy to have him for whenever he can. And great website. Yeah. Thank you, Bam. It is. Sorry. I get distracted by the TFR chat here. So anyway, what else is there? I wanted to mention, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here and being a part of the shows. We appreciate all your support. We appreciate you guys sticking through these episodes with us and hitting the likes when you can and subscribing if you're not already. It's amazing to meet all these new people checking out the show. Yeah, I hope if you've heard what you like what you've heard, you'll make this subscription one of your YouTube choices. We are always live doing shows every Wednesday through Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So there's always live streams every day except Monday and Tuesday. And then we also have a podcast, which is a different show entirely. It's not the same as our YouTube shows, but you can check those out, and those are oftentimes interviews with people experiencing paranormal events or other people in the communities and such. So, and sometimes just talking about phenomena, but there's always stuff going on at the Paranormal Portal, and we hope that you guys will continue to make us a part of your paranormal journey. And as with that, if you want to help support the show in other ways, we do have a gear store. It's at teespring.com. The link is in the description of the YouTube video if you want to check it out, but it's teespring.com/stores/paranormal-portal. And you can certainly check that out if you'd like. If you like the music of the portal, check out the brentthomas.bandcamp.com. And that is another option. I don't know. I mean, they're out there. If you want to check them out or download a version of your own, you can certainly do that. But we really appreciate all your love and support. Please like the stream if you indeed liked it. And please spread the word. Let people know about us.
Absolutely.
We love getting known. Don't we, Don?
Yes.
So, anyway, anything in closing, brother?
No. Sounds like you covered it all.
I tried to.
Paisley Wild's next.
Paisley Wild is next. Absolutely on TFR iHeart Tune into Talk Stream live. You can check out her show on the network or TFRlive.com or check out her live stream on YouTube.com/the spaces between. So that's all we got. Then the Duke's coming up later with World Bigfoot Radio on TFR. So lots going on. But anyway, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. Good night, everybody. Good night, Don.
Good night.